It is February 1959, and you are standing at the absolute edge of the civilized world. The wind howling through the jagged peaks of the northern Ural Mountains is not just cold, it is a physical force, dropping temperatures to -30 degrees Celsius. You pull your thick coat tighter, staring out into the pitch-black wilderness that locals have known for centuries to be unforgiving. In this frozen wasteland, survival is a matter of strict discipline, careful planning, and profound respect for the elements. You are about to uncover a story where all of those precautions completely unraveled. You are looking at the remnants of a nightmare that has baffled investigators, scientists, and military officials for more than 6 decades. 9 highly experienced mountaineers pitched a tent on the slope of this mountain. Sometime during the darkest hours of the night, something compelled all 9 of them to slice their way out of their own shelter. They did not take their boots. They did not take their coats. They ran out into the lethal, freezing darkness in nothing but their socks and sleeping gear. You open the heavily redacted files of the official Soviet investigation, the pages brittle with age. You see bodies with crushing internal injuries matching a high-speed car crash, yet lacking a single external bruise. You read reports of clothing emitting high levels of artificial radiation. What terrifying force could drive 9 survival experts to sprint willingly toward their own agonizing deaths? You trace the origins back to the Ural Polytechnic Institute in Sverdlovsk. These are not amateurs. They are Grade 2 hikers seeking their Grade 3 certification, the highest mountaineering expertise in the Soviet Union. Their leader, 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, points at a map with absolute confidence. You follow the red line toward Mount Otorten. In the Mansi language, Otorten translates roughly to "don't go there." One member, Yuri Yudin, is forced to turn back due to joint pain. He smiles in the last photograph, unaware that his failing health is the only thing that will save his life. On February 1st, the remaining 9 push forward. Dyatlov makes a fatal decision, pitching their tent on the exposed slope of Kholat-Syakhl. In Mansi, that means dead mountain. The recovered film shows early joy, wrestling in snow, chopping firewood, broad smiles. But as the role progresses, the tone shifts. Chaotic compositions, misfired shots, strangely angled photos of the night sky. They are no longer documenting a journey. They are trying to capture something moving in the periphery of their camp. Then you reach frame 34. A bizarre, overexposed blur of bright geometric light against pitch black. Investigators call it a darkroom error. But you lean closer. It does not look like a mistake. On February 26th, rescuers find the tent in chaos. Coats, boots, axes, all left behind. The massive tear was not cut from the outside. It was frantically slashed open from within. A trail of footprints descends the slope. Some show a single sock. Others show completely bare feet in -30 degrees snow. The first 2 bodies lie near a cedar tree, dressed only in underwear, beside a pitifully small fire. The branches above are snapped off 15 feet high. They were not running towards safety. They were fleeing something far worse than the cold. The coroner's reports shatter every rational explanation. Zolotaryov's chest has been crushed with extreme force, his ribs snapped inward, yet his skin is perfectly intact. The trauma is equivalent to being struck by an industrial vehicle at high speed. Then you read the report for Dubinina. She is missing both of her eyes, her lips, part of her facial tissue, and her entire tongue has been ripped out from the root. The clothing found on the bodies tests positive for beta radiation. Why would hikers on a remote mountain be radioactive? The avalanche theory is the most natural explanation. But you look at the photos of the tent upon discovery. The tent poles are still standing. The ski poles are upright. An avalanche powerful enough to crush ribs like a car crash would have swept the canvas structure completely off the mountain. Witnesses 50 miles away reported seeing strange glowing orange orbs in the northern sky on the exact night the Dyatlov group died. A concussive blast from a parachute mine would explain the massive internal trauma without external bruising. It would explain the frantic flight. It would explain the radiation. The Soviet government sealed the area for 3 years. The lead investigator was quietly reassigned, later confessing he was ordered to classify the findings by senior officials. The official conclusion on the final page of the 1959 report reads simply, "The hikers died due to an unknown compelling force." In 2019, Russia officially reopened the Dyatlov Pass case. In 2020, they delivered their verdict, a rare slab avalanche. But the families immediately rejected the findings. The report conveniently ignores the radioactive clothing, the glowing orbs in the sky, and the bizarre soft tissue mutilations. The government wants the file closed, but the mountain has not given up its secrets. You are left staring at the frozen peak of Kolatsyakl, the wind whispering through the pines, just as it did in 1959. 9 seasoned explorers walked into that darkness and met an end so terrifying that even modern science cannot fully sanitize it. What really forced them out of their sanctuary? What was waiting for them in the dark ravine? Join us in the next chapter as we reconstruct the timeline minute by minute and uncover the classified military documents the government tried to burn.